Hey, Dr. Denny here. A buddy and I just had a great time a couple days ago with the Midwest OCR that Aaron and Dana put on down at Cliffs Insane Terrain, which, by the way, is appropriately named. Wonderful time, and I had some time between clients. I thought I'd talk about some recovery after doing an OCR, an obstacle course race, but could also be good for people who have done maybe their first 5K, a 10K, a half marathon. Or maybe you're just a football player, rugby player, soccer player, kind of got beat up after some games, some practices, and need some soft tissue and recovery strategies. So without further ado, I would say the first place to start after, like say, a great Saturday OCR, go for a walk. Get yourself cleaned up, push some fluid, get some protein, get some healthy carbs in your system, go for a walk, 20-minute, 30-minute walk. Walk yourself, walk your dogs, do what you got to do. Do that as soon as you can when you get home. Do that again, maybe that night, do it again the next morning or so. So walking, hydration, good sleep, good food. Best places to start. After that, just really 3 simple tools. A little bouncy ball that you would have like from as a kid, from a gum ball bouncing across the floor, a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball. Scratch that, a tennis ball or a racket ball. Lacrosse balls are too hard. And if something is painful and not wanting to open up, you're going to be in fight or flight mode. It's a tug of war. So something that's going to be able to compress, a tennis ball or racket ball, and just a foam roller, whatever size, this size, long size, ribbed or non-ribbed for your pleasure. And let's start from the ground up. So with that bouncy ball, we're going to put that in under our foot, rolling from the front edge of our heel to the balls of our toes, right? The knuckle joints of our toes, not the toes themselves, just up to that toe joint. So we're going to roll from heel to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, putting as much pressure as you feel good about. Don't be surprised if the first couple minutes are a little spicy. We got 4 layers of muscles past our plantar fascia. They just got perhaps assaulted on that aforementioned Cliffs Insane Terrain, uneven ground area. So give yourself time, 3 to 5 minutes per foot to get all that to kind of open up here for you, right? After that, we'll put that off to the side. We're gonna grab our foam roller. We're gonna go down into our calves. We're gonna get our butt on the ground, put that foam roller there, use our other foot and our hands to help support ourselves. We're gonna do some rolling. Now, do some rolling kind of in 3 positions with your toes turned in, with your toes straight up, and with your toes turned out to hit the different parts of your calf and the 3 muscles lying deeper to your calf that might be in a state of shock and awe. We can now go to our front shin muscles, which lift up our toes and our ankles, and come in on this either at one at a time, kind of rolling from below our knee into the top of our ankle joint, or if you have the length and the ability, both at the same time, working through there. We can go from there into our thigh in 4 different directions. We can do our outer thigh, what's sometimes referred to by runners as the ITB, the iliotibial band. And we're gonna put that just below the hip bone. General rule of thumb, bones do not like being rolled on or compressed, so don't do that. Roll from below my hip joint here to just above my knee joint, above the knee joint. Below we have a different bone, fibular head with other neurovascular structures. We don't want to be on those. So we do this for time, 3 minutes. I can go now from here to face down, doing the front of my hip, my thigh, rolling from the hip down to above the knee, off of the patella, the kneecap. I can come back up to my hamstrings. Now we have 4 hamstring tissues, 2 on the outside, 2 on the inside. So kind of like with the calf, do some rolling now here, say with the toes out, working those lateral hamstring tissues, and do some with the toes in, working the inner medial hamstring tissues for at least 3 minutes per leg. And then the last part of that foursome is going to be the inner thigh groin adductor muscles, which we kind of get into a frog leg position. Hopefully this will turn out on the camera. And we kind of roll down in towards our inner hip groin region, and just be aware this is a sensitive area, so don't go too crazy. Know your boundaries and what's working for you. From there, I can kind of pull in that tennis ball and do some specific stuff for the back of my hip and also the front of my thigh. Sometimes we get kind of tied up in where the top of our quad, our thigh, meets the hip in front. So putting a ball right in through here and getting face down on that, and just kind of moving around a little bit till you find that spicy spot, and then hanging out. Like stop rolling, stay there, maybe even like squeeze your glute a little bit, maybe bend up your knee. Spend a couple, 3-4 minutes through here, just getting that spot to kind of feel soft and let it give up its tension, its muscle holding through there too. Same for the backside. We can do some working through here. Everybody calls this piriformis. There's a lot of hip muscles back here besides the piriformis. So just kind of, again, roll to find a spicy tissue or a tissue with issue, and then stop, stay on it. And then maybe just move your leg in and out. Maybe pull it up and straighten it and just work through there a little bit to kind of clear out those spicy spots. And then what we can do is get our upper body. Now, again, like Midwest OCR had some great upper body obstacles, but what are we doing with those? We're using our lats and our biceps and our forearm and our hands like to hang on and grab and swing and advance and have all kinds of fun, or the things that we think are fun. Now, take that foam roller, put it just below the armpit on the outside of your ribs where you're gonna find those back muscles, and now just start rolling back and forth to give those some tissue, some TLC. I could have my arm being more in front to have less of a stretch on my lats, so that's a little too spicy in the beginning, and then over time, move it overhead to get more of a stretch. Again, I would go for time, couple, 3 minutes from there too. We can get our biceps with this same tool. I can just turn myself kind of face down, have my palm facing behind me, and work in along that bicep into the top of my shoulder, working through there too. Again, I would just kind of go for time, give it all some TLC. Now let's say, I'm gonna pull this bench over, but let's say this is you with your foam roller on a kitchen table or on a kitchen counter, and just coming in through there and just working through now those forearm flexors, the meat on the inside, not the outside. This is like the tennis elbow, or more appropriately, pickleball elbow region. We want the inside, working through there. And just, again, going for time. And then we're gonna end how we started with our bouncy ball, working through our hand and just kind of rolling along. So I'm doing that from the palm down into the knuckles of my fingers. Again, I'm not gonna be on my fingers themselves. All the meat and the stuff worth working on is gonna be within my palm. And I would go for 3 to 5 minutes working in through there. And then let's do some light stretches. So we're not gonna stretch for mobility or trying to gain motion. We're just gonna stretch to try to minimize some delayed onset muscle soreness, get some things kind of flowing. So for our calf, we're gonna do a two-way stretch. The first one's gonna be, as I'm looking at this camera right now, toes are 12 o'clock, so straight ahead, heels down. But I'm gonna do this now going perpendicular. So heel down, toes 12 o'clock, straight ahead, glute tight for bonus points, and just come in to get a nice little calf stretch and come back. 20, 30 repetitions, high volume, single set. I'm gonna do the same thing now for my right side with my knee bent. So heel down, toe straight, moving back and forth 20, 30 times. I can do my quad a little bit in standing if I have this range, if I can do this and just kind of make it be comfortable. If not, I can put a pillow down, I can get on that, kind of a tall half kneeling position, get your glute tight, and just bring your whole body forward and a little bit back to get a nice little hip flexor stretch and add a little bit to that quad. If I have this mobility, I could bring that foam roller back in here too, underneath my foot, and add a little bit. Your mileage may vary, so do what works best here for you. So kind of that hip flexor quad approach. For the backside, for my hamstrings, I could do a couple different things. I could do some where I have a bench, a chair, and I mentioned that there was 2 inner, 2 outer muscles. I could roll my toes inward and reach my hands forward, and then switch toes out, hands in, and just alternate, keeping your back fairly straight so it doesn't look like this. I can also just kind of get on my back on a bench, and say to do my right side, I can just kind of hold this leg, just actively use my quad till I feel a stretch. I can do a little bit of that with my leg inward. I can do a little bit of that with my leg outward. Just, again, we're getting things moving here. Motion is lotion. For the upper body, what I can do is, I'm gonna walk back here. For those back muscles, those lat muscles, A kitchen sink works out really well at home, bathroom sink, something at the gym, something that won't move on you. And then I'm just gonna hang on to that and sit my butt back. Nice long spine. My knees are flexed a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. And just breathing, hanging out for 30 seconds, a minute. I can come back up, just kind of move, twist in through here a little bit, get some rotation, and just kind of grab and sit back and hang on for a little bit of that bicep and a little bit of that where the chest and shoulder meet. I can put my hand on a wall with my elbow bent. It's not straight, elbow just slightly bent, and just kind of turn away a little bit, breathe, move, stretch. I can, again, kind of floss through these here too. And also, like the final thing I would say, like for looking at this wall, is doing some wall springs. So again, imagine this is a solid wall, all right? So I'm just gonna have my hands kind of catch me as I touch that wall. I come off of it, I go side to side, get some rotation through my torso, through my arms, through my shoulder blades, get some things moving through there too. So just some nice, simple, easy things. Again, walk. Go for a walk, walk some more, rehydrate, get good protein, get good carbs in your system, get some sleep, and then get some soft tissue work, get some motion going, motion is lotion, so that we're all ready for the next OCR and definitely ready for the next OCR season. Be good.